All right. Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna do something a little bit different today. We're gonna talk about money because I feel like it's something that just doesn't get talked about enough. People sometimes ask me questions about the properties and things in that, but it all really can't start until you've understood some core concepts with money mindset, and then once you've got those, you can move into money management, and then you can move into doing things with the money. So I just want to bust 5 myths that have to do with money that I think held me back for a long time and continue to hold some people back from taking those steps. So the first myth with money is that money is limited. Okay, I have some notes down here, by the way, so just so I don't miss anything. But money's limited. Who's felt this before? Who's heard this before? Scarcity around money, right? There's not enough. There's just not enough money. I don't have enough. I think that scarcity is very common. I grew up feeling that way a lot as a kid. Why? Because just money wasn't talked about. And even if we had the money to do things like buy a lawnmower or, have a nice house or nice cars in the driveway, it didn't feel like there was enough for me. And so I feel like that's a pretty instilled thing in a lot of people. Money's not limited. Money's abundant. There's a lot of it. Pretty sure they printed $1 trillion during the stimulus last year. Money is always moving. It's always exchanging hands. And there is a lot of it in the world and in America and in your community and in your life. You just have to find out how to get that money to you. The second myth, money is the root of all evil. Who's heard this before? Everybody, right? It's one of the most quoted Bible verses, and I feel like it's misquoted, at least misinterpreted, in a sense that money, I don't think, is the root of all evil. I did for a long time because I heard it over and over and over and over, and it was conditioned into my heart, in my head. I don't think money is the root of all evil. I think the love of money or the pursuit or the chase of money can cause somebody to do evil things, but money itself isn't the evil thing. So understanding that money gives you the opportunity to apply more love and give more love, have more freedom, give more value. All of those things happens with more money, which I'll talk about with myth number 4 or 5. Myth number 3, if you're making money, you're taking money from somebody else. This was the biggest one for me that held me back for a long time when I started selling. So when I started a sales job, I always felt like the transaction, it made me feel guilty, made me feel shameful, knowing that somebody who may be struggling with their finances in this area is buying something from me, and then I'm taking that money and buying a investment property, made me feel really guilty. What my coach in a really good book, which I'll mention at the end, helped me understand is that money is always in exchange. So that money is going to get spent somewhere no matter what is a key understanding. But there's also the exchange of that transaction. So one big moment that I think about is my baseball coach. He bought $1,000 knife set from me. And I bought a new pair of cleats before that baseball season. He had made a comment to me like, oh, is that my knife money with those new cleats? And I laughed and I was like, haha, in my head I was like, yeah, it is. Literally, the commission would have bought these cleats. Here's the key understanding though, is I earned that commission and I earned that sale because of these things. So number 1, I earned an interview. I had the courage to go to training. I invested 12 hours in the training process, learning how to do the job. I crafted the skill of sales, overcame the fear of phone calls, developed the phone approach, developed the recommendations approach, drove to his house with gas money in a car that I pay to maintain, developed skill to build value, skill to handle objections and close. All of these things in exchange for he gets a 28-piece knife set, a block to store it in, a forever guarantee, 440 steel, an American-made product, right? That's what he gets. That's what I gave. The exchange was there. And so every exchange is a win-win-win. You just have to identify what those wins are for the customer, the salesperson, and the company. And so what does the customer get? They get all of that. They get the knife set. They get all the things that comes with that. They get it forever. What does the company get? Well, they get money to pay the factory workers, to pay the managers, to pay the salespeople, to pay the CEOs. What does the salesperson get? Me in this scenario. Well, I get money to help build my future, to buy the baseball cleats. And so really, even when you sell something with a forever guarantee, for example, it's like he could tell me in 20 years, oh, you buy the baby crib with my knife money? Well, I mean, kind of, because he has the knife set forever. I have the cleats for maybe 2 years. Who really got ripped off? Now, that's not the point, but it's just a different way to look at a transaction. Myth number 4, money makes you a worse person. Do I think this is true? I always did. What I think now is that money makes you more of what you already are. I think there's 2 things that do this: money and alcohol. And so if you're a bad person, well, if you have a lot more money, you have the opportunity to be an even worse person. I think of professional athletes that get handed these $1 million contracts in their rookie year, and then they do something like, there's obviously a fresh situation with unnamed player for the Raiders. And so more money caused that to be a worse situation. There's also there's good people who, when they get a lot more money, they can do really great things. And so I think money it makes you more of what you already are. The wealthiest people I know are some of the best people I know. A lot of normal people that aren't exposed to wealthier circles, they don't see those people. They just hear the stories on the news. What sells? Negative stuff. The news doesn't promote the wealthy people. They don't even know where the wealthy people are. So that's myth number 4. Money makes you a worse person. That's just not the truth. The 5th myth, the last one, is that money doesn't buy happiness. It does. It does. And the wealthy people in my circle that I know and that I talk to and that I learn from, the mentors I have, they are very open about the fact that the more money you have, the more value you're able to provide, the more things you're able to do, the more freedom you have. If you have a lot of money, you can buy a cleaner to clean your house. Well, then you don't have to spend that time cleaning your house. You can spend it with your kids, or spend it giving to your church, or spend it volunteering. If you have more money, you can pay for an assistant to do all of your busy work. Well, if you're not doing your busy work, what are you doing? You're paying someone, you're employing someone, giving them money to provide. You are also then free to do anything else. And so the more money you have, the more freedom you have, the more travel you can do, the more fun you can have. And understanding that is the first step. Because if you're deflecting opportunity because you, in your core, believe money doesn't buy happiness, you won't get to receive. The world won't give you the opportunity to receive as much as if you just embrace the fact that more money gives you more options and more freedom, and ultimately it does give you more happiness. Okay, last thing I'll say on that is, who says that? Not wealthy people. Who says money doesn't buy happiness? The people who are unhappy, who don't have a lot of money. Okay, that's it. A couple tools for you. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It's a book. T. Harv Eker. Pick it up, read it. That helped me with a lot of this mindset stuff. And then Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read those 2 books. Keep checking in. This is a little different on the channel. Thanks for being here. If you got any value, please share the video. We'll see you next time.